Good day, creative friends. I hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to use masking fluid to create the doodling part of the piece. I don't quite know the brand of this masking fluid, but it comes in a fine line bottle or a fine line. And I will link it in the description below because I have found it on Amazon. And you will also see all the other supplies in the description below. So this obviously allows you to do very thin lines, hence the name. So it's quite perfect for doodling. I also decided to add a quote that says, "Find your happy." In the cap of this bottle, there's a little needle that you insert inside the nozzle, and that way it prevents the liquid from clogging up. Once you're done the masking, make sure that you let it dry properly before painting over. I think I let mine dry for about 45 minutes, and you'll see it by the way it looks. It will change color, and it will be just a tiny bit tacky to the touch, but it won't move when you apply a little bit of pressure on it. The one thing you have to remember when you do masking with fluid is, or any other masking for that matter, is that you need to cover the areas where you applied the masking with paint. Otherwise, there's no point. Because what ends up happening once you remove the masking fluid is that you are going to see the white of the paper shining through. So if there's no color, nothing happens. So yeah. I also wanted to have a dark color behind the quote so that it is more prominent once the masking is removed. And honestly, I would be very hard pressed to describe to you how I built this abstract painting. I was making decisions on the spot. Sometimes, most of the time actually, it didn't have any rhyme or reason. Didn't think things through, and sometimes it got me in trouble. But I was able to correct some brushstrokes that I didn't like, and that's that. So all this to say, I really cannot tell you what goes on in my head when I built this piece, because I built it out of desperation. Because I tried several projects that didn't work, and I did that quite late. And I also apologize for my voice because it's quite late at the time I'm doing this voiceover. So anyways, I will leave you with some music because there's really nothing that I can explain that you won't catch from my actions. The addition of quinacridone gold might have been a mistake. I'm not sure. I needed a contrast, and I thought that the color I had chosen, that rusty color that I had chosen, which I can't remember the name of right now, transparent red oxide. How can I forget that one? Didn't provide enough contrast. but the yellow I find is too much because most of the other colors are neutral and the yellow is like really, or the quinacridone gold is very bright and very warm. But it's there to stay, and it's okay. So for this step, the removing of the masking fluid, please make sure that your piece is completely dry before you do that. Mine was, except for where I have applied the gold over the word happy. And so while I was removing the gummy substance, I was rubbing with this, it's kind of like a rubber eraser. It's made for picking up glue. It was removing some of the gold at the same time. So something to be mindful of. And now I'm going to add just a few dots with the Uni-ball Signo DX gel pen. Again, all in the hopes that it's going to provide a contrast, but very subtly, because it's quite a busy piece. I really love how it turned out, by the way, but I find it super busy. And there's a few things, of course, that I would like to correct, but I'm letting it go because I'm famous for redoing stuff, and I don't have that luxury at the moment. So yeah, it was fun. It was I know I said it was done out of desperation. However, once I started doing the piece, I was back into my happy zone, because this type of work is also comforting to me. It's something that comes naturally to me. I understand that abstract work sometimes has a tendency to scare people, but for me, it's anything goes. It's a free-form way of painting, and I appreciate that. It's funny how now that I'm looking at the screen without having to worry about where to cut the footage, I can sort of see some things happening in the background. I start seeing things, whereas when I finished a painting, I really wasn't reading into it at all. And I'm very curious to see if you have any interpretation. Are you starting to see shapes, recognizable shapes in the background? Because that's what abstract does. It stimulates your imagination, and sometimes you can weave a story around what you're seeing. So I'm very curious. Feel free to leave your interpretations in the comments below. I always get a kick out of reading your comments. So that is it for this video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I thank you so very much for watching. Of course, I want to say a huge thank you to my awesome patrons who are supporting my artistic journey on Patreon, and in return they get exclusive videos and other kinds of rewards. And on that note, please stay safe and healthy, keep creating, and I will see you later.